How's that? Sorry, did I disappear for a minute? Because I can sort of see that the sound is coming out now. Sorry, everybody. Hmm, 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 hmm. Just gonna eat some of my pie. Yay! Okay, cool, cool. Okay. I don't know what was happening. It wasn't letting me have the right output. It was just weird. And uh, then Firefox completely crashed on me. So I was like, what? Why isn't it wanting to connect to that? I wonder why. Wonder. Okay, cool, cool. So we are continuing. We watched the Optavia Awaken 2025 Bold conference. I think it was over 2 days. I have 8 hours of content, I think it is. Let me have a look. I've been sort of like trying to work out how to pack and because like when you get when you get a transfer you can get moved by the department and so I need to work that out, but I can't find. I think I need to wait to get a like an official like work number or whatever. Anyway, so I may like all my stuff is probably gonna be have to come down after me. And then I was kind of like, it just felt like I was moving one pile of crap to another pile of crap. And so I felt like I didn't do anything, but then I know I did. So it was annoying. And then because I think Minnie's in heat now too, because the girls bring each other on. And Wilbur is losing his mind. He's settled down now, but he just was like he barks. If it, he may bark loudly enough to be heard again tonight because he doesn't like it when he sees other people having fun. He's like a librarian. He's like, oh, those people are having fun. I'm going to bark at them. so, so I think I'm going to leave for my new place. Check. So today's Wednesday night. You know what? The last time I moved from this place to Brisbane, I had been traveling for nearly a month overseas. I'd gone I flew in and out of Amsterdam and I went from Amsterdam to Belgium to France. Oh, well, just to Paris. I didn't go anywhere in France other than Paris. And I only spent 3 days in Paris and I am kicking myself because I loved it. It was great. And I should have spent more time there. I had this beautiful little like apartment that had a bathtub. Oh, lovely. Anyway, then I went to Barcelona, then London, then Berlin. Oh, well, Munich and Berlin. But I only had 1 day in Munich. I went to the Aldi when I was in Munich, and because it was winter, so I did want to go to like the Eagle's Nest and stuff like that, but they're not open during the winter because of the snow. And so then I went to Berlin. Love Berlin. It's like if I could move anywhere in the world, like just pick up and go, Berlin or Barcelona. Beautiful. Like Just the best, just the best. Yeah, and then I knew that I got a transfer, right? And I was moving, but I thought I had 2 weeks, and I got home from being overseas on a Tuesday, and I had to move in about 3 days, and I thought I had another week up my sleeve, so that was really annoying. And I'd been out of the country, so I couldn't organise the removalists while I was out of the country because I couldn't ring up. Anyway, so, this time around, like, I had all of last week, but because I didn't know had a house, I was, like, just sort of, like, mucking around, just dilly-dallying and sleeping in and stuff, and, now that I've got a house, I'm like, "Oh, shit, I've only got a couple days." So I think I'm gonna leave on Sunday. So it's Wednesday now. My dad's gonna come back and help me with, taking some stuff to the dump and stuff like that. Anyway, we are gonna get back to this Optavia. So Optavia, shorthand, definitely trigger warnings for weight loss. Hang on, it's gonna start, but I'm gonna press pause.
All right. Good morning, everybody.
Okay. We got up to nearly 29. We nearly got up to 30. So let me go here and I'm gonna go like this. Ah. Oh, that's a good idea. I like that because I've got to do that with clothes. I have too many clothes. It's not realistic, Tish. You are never gonna, but I have like some clothes that are just a little bit too small. A little bit, not a lot. I'm like holding out hope. All right, so these guys, Dan and Megan Valentine, they are probably the top earners at Optavia. Mm. Yeah, yeah. I have a whole heap of stuff under the house that I should throw away out. But also I've got like I threw out all my DVD cases and just got the DVDs. I don't have a DVD player. I should probably just give them away. Um, and then I've got books, which again, I've got a lot of ebooks now, but can't throw books out. Anyway, so sorry, something's like stuck in my teeth. Need to turn the camera off or something. Okay, so trigger warnings for weight loss, anything to do with like body image, body dysmorphia. Uh, Kevin Tinter's transphobic, so I'll probably talk about that if we talk about him again. And because he's one of the top leaders. And the other big thing is religious manipulation. That's one of the big triggers here. They like to wrap up success in weight loss and religion, and that just makes it extra spicy, culty, etc., etc. Ooh, that's actually a good idea. That is a good idea. I do have some books that are like my favorites. Um, like classics, like On the Road, and those sort of ones that I've had for a long time. So I don't know why I never unpacked them. Well, they've sort of been sitting on a shelf under the house, so yeah. Um, Optavia is just one big red flag, you know? Do you know what? The reps are very nice, but they it's all for that one cause, do you know what I mean? It's all about indoctrinating and, making people it it they've definitely got sort of that old school way of hating their body. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have had a complicated but relationship with my body, and it took a long time for me to not completely hate it because, in the 2000s, late 90s, 2000s was heroin chic, like size 0. I thought I was fat at high school. I was not. I was thin. It was ridiculous that I thought that. Absolutely ridiculous. And there was a lot of that sort of mentality where, there wasn't a great deal of acceptance, and a lot of your material worth was connected to how much you weighed. And they have not got out of that here, and that's what they use against people. So we had the intro from Dan and Megan, and then now we've got Dr. A speaking. We got up to Dr. A, and Dr. Wayne. Oh, I can't even remember what his middle bit is, but it's Wayne Anderson. And he is the co-founder of Optavia, but also we found out he's a distributor. Oh, I did pose the question because they said that they had 26,000 reps. Erin said she couldn't remember how much it was, but it was a lot less. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Oh, no, Erin. So 2023, holy, that's a big, hang on, I'm going to save this so that I can show you. Thanks, Sarah. I forgot. I didn't realize she put this here. Um, all right. I think she might have asked ChatGPT, but I appreciate her work. Oh my God, where am I going now? I'm in the wrong thing. Okay. Let me add this image. I was supposed to do this quickly so that I could eat my pie, like the intro, but I didn't. Okay, so this is what Erin dropped in. Thank you, Erin. That's Erin Bees. In 2023, we had 58,000, or quarter one, 58,700. That is halved. 26,000. 26,000. That, and they've lost another 1,000. Oh, damn. Look at how much they're losing. As of April 2025, Medifast has not released data on the number of active earning Optavia coaches for the year. Well, they told us 26,000. This downward trend reflects challenges in customer acquisition and coach productivity. Ooh, really? I think the coaches are doing what they can. Medifast was indicated plans to address these issues through enhanced marketing efforts and strategic partnerships. Yeah, wow. More than half, actually. More than half in just 2 years. Ooh, no, yeah, 2 years, sorry. Okay, let's go back to this
We
one.
have the program. We have the blueprint.
Oh no, he's so low. All right, hang on. I'm gonna turn myself down. I'm just gonna try and get my speaker to start working again. She don't want to work. Maybe it's headphones. I don't know. I think it is sorry, I'm just talking to myself at the moment. All right.
We just need to be better as coaches at implementing it.
I now can't hear anything. God damn it. Sorry, that was my fault. No. This is not anything you guys can do. This is just me that the problem is with at the moment.
Because what we want to do is fill.
Okay, hang on. Sorry, everybody. Oh no, that's not what I want. Maybe I'm gonna need earbuds eventually, anyway. Okay, hang on.
Fill the funnel again. So you can work as hard as you want, and you can really work. We can work. Nick and his team can put together incentives. We need a lot more clients. And where are those clients? They're in the GLP thought process. They're
Okay, I honestly cannot hear that. So, I don't know what changed from yesterday to today. It's worse than it was. How's the sound for you? Let me know. Because it is bad for me. But it says that that's really weird. Um, 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 um. Okay. Earbuds. So please hold. I'll turn I'll turn myself down again. It's probably gonna want to connect to the iPad or my phone, wherever it is. Let me. Thank you for your patience, everybody. Beats, let's go, Beats. I don't know where my phone is. Mm-mm. All right, sorry everybody. I'm trying. What's happening? Oh, okay. Hang on. All right. Hang on.
either taking it or thinking about it.
Oh my god, I'm so annoyed. I'm so sorry, everybody. All right, let me see.
And they're hesitating until they.
Okay. Oh, hallelujah. Okay, I can hear him. How's the difference in sound for you guys?
Make the decision. We're going to position you so that you can help them make the right decision for them. Cool? And we have an incredible health community, right? Don't you feel like today, think about it, your week, last couple of weeks, weren't you excited about being here today? Because you care about your health, you care about people, and that's the key thing. We were having dinner last night, and Terry was talking about, gee, I'm not sure, am I going to be good at it? I said, do you love it? She said, yes, and she tells a story of helping this one person. I said, you have the DNA. If you're empathetic and you care, that's all you need. The rest of it is like me learning to heli ski. You just practice, you follow the experts, and you get better and you become a professional. And you set yourself different. We created the idea from the beginning. I created the idea of health coaching. It was called health advisor at first, and then we evolved it to health coach. You can get a health coach anywhere in the country now.
Oh, really? Oh my God. I don't know why it's like that. Let me try the other video. Okay. So that's 720p. I'll try this 360p. Who knows?
All right, all right. Good morning.
That was loud. Maybe we're just gonna have to skip Dr. Wayne because he's so soft.
Lawyer? Yeah. Julie, is she here? Yeah, where is she? Yeah. She goes, oh, I'm just sick to my stomach. I realized I had to follow Dr. A. She was better than me. She basically said, in essence, this: I am a lawyer. I make really good money. I decided to do this over the last couple of years, as most of us, we've had some ups and downs. She said, I had to make a decision. I could go get a law job. But you know what? I like going to Starbucks with my daughter during the day.
So, Katie, your time? He's audible? Is it okay or is it bad? So go to Starbucks during the day. Organize your day to do that. I was gonna say before too, he said, I invented the concept of a health coach. Did you? Okay, it's real impressive. I'm really impressed. Good work, mate. Good work.
I like going to the tennis court in the afternoon while all the others are. And money isn't everything. But I can tell you this: if we do what we can do, you're all going to make a lot of money. But you're going to make it in service. What I always like to think about: 3 million people, billions of dollars now. That $1 billion means that everybody has eaten low glycemic food, gotten themselves healthier, and at least have in their bandwidth the knowledge to get healthier. Isn't that cool? Should you be worried about, oh, I'm afraid about talking to the person? Why? Every single person I meet and talk to, I leave them in a better position for their life than before they met me. Whether they decide to do it is up to them. But what's up to me is to get out.
Oh, I'm sorry, what? Because right now I'm looking for the Optavia income disclosure statement. But also you leave them better? The amount of people who I have seen come out of Optavia with issues, malnutrition, erect metabolism, you know? Okay, let me show you this. So he said, everybody's going to make a lot of money. We'll all make a lot of money, will we now? Let's have a look, shall we? No earnings, 25.36%. No earnings for the whole year. A quarter of the company. In between 1 cent and $100, 10% of people. So we've got 36% of people earn less than $100. $100 or less, sorry. Then we've got $100 to $250 per year. Per year. Doesn't count their orders. I think they have a monthly fee as well. They have to order fuelings. 10%, 10.92%. In between 500 and 1,000, 12.20. 6%. In between 1,000 and 2,500, 12.38%, and so on and so forth. And who's making a lot of so I'm not 100% sure what would be a livable wage in America. I know, they don't work hard enough. Um, livable wage, would you say it'd be where you could just do Optavia? Probably in between, oh, even 30 to 50K, I think is gonna be tight. You'd be okay if you're a single. If you had a family, no. So everybody underneath there is not gonna be able to support themselves. They're gonna have to have something else. And that is probably 1.65% plus these other ones and some change. So round about 2% of the people make enough money to only do Optavia. And who's at the top? The people who have been in there the longest, of course. So, yeah, um, that's their so tell us again, Dr. A, about how everybody can make a lot of money. Mm, but then they'll take it, like you said, it's your fault for not working, but also it's about making people's lives better. Even if you don't earn any money, you're leaving them better.
There and spread that word. Cool? So, in this part, there's one last thing we need to understand. We know how to optimize the GLP. I gave you a little window of that. Two, you're the guide on this journey with the prescription for now, which is in the new book that we're working together, the company, to get it released. Bottom line is, if someone decides to go on the medications, you can guide them through that period where they have willpower, because it's going to end. And for most, it ends, and then where are they? They're metabolically unhealthy again. By the way, the metabolic indicators in poor health come back even before their weight gain, as soon as they stop using the medicine. So they're going back to where they were, and all the parameters show that. Two, they're going to gain.
Are you describing what happens when you stop Optavia? Because that's what happens. You accidentally said it, not really, but you know. Yeah. Hello, now Kita. Yes, we are eating dinner and we're talking about Optavia being a terrible idea. And we got the monochromatic cowboy here, Dr. A, who's a co-founder of Optavia, and he has on a cream shirt, cream pants, and cream boots. And he went to the Walmart to get them, apparently. It's just interesting, and I think a bit dangerous for them to talk about, oh, you're going to be able to help people through the GLP-1. And it's like, do you know who helps me with my GLP-1? A medical professional. That's who helps me. Who, what, like it just boggles the mind that they are able to do this as Optavia people.
Their weight back. Three, their body composition is going to be worse. And four, they're going to be more frustrated because it's going to be harder for them to keep from gaining weight. So they need us. And then basically the lifestyle change in the prescription for life, which is one of the sections, is the latest thinking on what's going on with habits. And it tees them up in a very small little book to get them started. Because I got to tell you, the Habits of Health are two 500-pound books, right? You can use them, and so that was kind of my mistake.
Oh, also now, Kita, the sound is terrible. So I apologize. I'm trying to be as soft as I can because their mics are soft at sometimes. At least it was better than Dan Valentine, who was like loud and then soft and then loud and then soft because he was holding the microphone like that.
But they're there to stay. They are the foundation of Optavia, right? Because the idea is lifelong transformation, not transformation, weight loss for a year. So you're the long-term guide to that, and you know that, and you've had the experience. So basically, here's the cover of the new book. The idea is looking at a kind of semi-Ozempic pen, thinking about it, going on it, starting to have gain, and then freeing yourself from it, right? And jumping off it, mastering a healthy lifestyle, freedom beyond the GLP-1s. That's what we do. We do it better than anybody. That's just simply the beginning. It's like when I first met MetaFast, the 5-in-1, they were called portion control meal replacements, were an avenue to create a teachable moment to start helping people realize I want to choose health in my life, and I'm willing now, with you as my guide, the support of our community, the Habits of Health as a blueprint, and these incredible products to now change our health and our life. How cool is that? That hasn't changed. That hasn't changed a bit. So, 6 parts. First part basically is freeing from the toxic world. And I didn't talk much about it, but we live in a terrible toxic world. Basically, in Japan, they don't eat processed food, and they have 5% obesity. We have 44%, right? Toxic food.
Yeah, dude. And your heroes at Doge and MAGA, because these guys all love Doge and MAGA, are gutting the FDA, which, tries to make things less toxic, as well as, pollutants in the water. Mhm. Oh, sorry. Now, Kita, we looked at the income disclosure statement because they were talking about how everybody can make money at Optavia when they can't. Um, yeah, and also, yeah, what are you talking about? Processed food. That's what you sell. You sell processed food. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Elizara. Um, that's the basis of the 5-in-1 diet. 5 fuelings. It's processed. And 1 lean and green meal. That's the real whole foods in that. But again, there's a class element to that. That's what we were talking about yesterday. And Lily reminded us that there are food deserts. And the food deserts are, like in places where fast food, yeah, their food is all processed. So it's usually where fast food is cheaper, or they don't have access to fresh fruit, cheap meat, unless they grow it themselves. And then there's like they were talking about how it's in Whole Foods, and not everybody has access to that. And also, with the way things are going, if I were an immigrant, an undocumented immigrant, I'm not going to work. They're disappearing people. Mm. Yeah, that's it. It Processed food is fine. Ingredients, let's look at the ingredients of food rather than just how they're made. Because GMO food's fine, you know? Um, but looking at how they are disappearing people and they're not getting due process, these people are being sent to an El Salvadorian prison when all they did was come here undocumented. Most of those men who were sent to the El Salvadorian prison were not criminals. And they don't have a case, they don't have a sentence, they don't have anything. They're just sent to this prison with no information. Oh. Yeah, no, I there's no way I'm going near America. If they look at my phone, I've got a whole heap of anti-Trump stuff there. You know, like there's that like this is we're at a crossroads, and the man who they're trying to get home, Kilmer Abrego Garcia, is not a criminal. He was not in MS-13. He was being a target of a gang, but he was granted to live in America. And they are flouting the rules, lying about him on like television, laughing about taking American citizens to the El Salvadorian prison without due process, without the courts, without anything. So the point here is that I would, if I were an undocumented immigrant, I'm not going to be able to go and pick strawberries for people, because what if I get picked up? You know, at least if you go back yourself, like there's freedom in that, you know. But it's just such a scary time. So all the people who they depend on to oh my god, it sounds like someone's here. Someone's yelling outside. Oh my god. Had a heart attack then. It's like 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Yeah, so all of this, you know, if you want fresh fruit and so on and so forth, then you need to be okay with immigrants, and these people aren't, because they're mega coded. You know what I mean? And then if you want better levels with like processed food and ingredients and stuff like that, then all the Maha stuff doesn't work out either. You think Robert F. Kennedy knows what he's doing? He doesn't. But these people are all like convinced that, oh my God, it's a different era. It's not. And you're not going to benefit, because people can't even afford like okay food. They're not going to buy your expensive fuelings, you know?
1 week on processed food, 1 week eating McDonald's, you gain 3 or 4 pounds, and it takes months to get it off, right? Second, weight loss revolution. I talk about everything about that in there. I talk about Gila Monster spit.
Oh, he's selling a book. That's what this is. He's selling a book. It's all about there. Mm. Yes, I heard about that, Alazara. I know, it's so crazy. Yeah, I heard about the lawyer who, yeah, yeah. It's very scary, and I think there's only so much people can take before they'll rebel. And I just don't want people to get hurt, but they're going to. Um, yeah, he's selling a book. This is to sell his book. Isn't that interesting? Gotta get some more money out of people. Hey, Dr. A. That's why when Dan and Megan were introducing him, they said, "Oh, we had originally asked Dr. A if he could come, and he didn't. He was doing something else, and then he cleared his calendar to come and do this." And it's like, yeah, of course he did, because he's selling a book.
You got those out here, right? Gila Monsters, don't you? Yeah, Gila Monster
Oh,
spit. That was the discovery of why we have GLP-1s that work.
yeah, that's right. So guess what's really good? Science, research and development. Who would have thought it? I stopped because I was going to say, if you eat McDonald's for a week, blah, blah, blah. What does your favorite president do? That's his favorite food. That's his favorite food, dudes. Do you want to keep shitting on McDonald's?
Yep, now read the book. Are these medicines right for you? Are they right for you? Because for some people, they're absolutely. If you do the susceptibility quiz and your score is really high and you're highly susceptible, and so the question in your health assessments, when you assess your potential client, to figure out, because you care about doing the right thing for them, not selling GLPs, not selling our portion control pills or our feelings. You're there to find out what's best for them, and that's what makes uniqueness for us, right? And so in that, you'll find out, and yeah, maybe these drugs are, but I'm going to conduct you using the prescription for now. So we use this period, this optimism. We're basically being teed up, ready to whack this into a home run for them because now they have your guidance. And it takes a day or two to read the book. So you're going to have all that, and you'll be able to use it as an acquisition tool. You'll be able to use it to actually support them, and you will then go with confidence into any situation. Anybody in a group that's saying, well, I've been considered, you can, boom, right? You like that? Let's do it. Let's, boom. Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah, wow. It just highlights that these people are not qualified to be doing what they're doing, you know? Like, what do you mean? They can read your book and all of a sudden they're experts in GLP-1? I'm pretty sure that my prescribing nurse, who I work with for my weight loss, she did more than read one book, which took her, like, 2 days. And I'm just finding he's not a very good speaker. He doesn't enunciate his words very clearly, it's very run on, like, he doesn't. Yeah, I'm finding it almost like I have to sort of listen even harder, and doesn't help that he's quiet as well, but boom, boom, because then you've got the answer, and all of you people here think that you can tell people how to lose weight, because I'm telling you, you can. Uh, he's creating a permission structure, of, giving people this. "You can lose weight. I'll help you." "No, you can't. No, you shouldn't be helping me. You don't have qualifications to do that."
Bottom line is, in the prescription for life is like the latest thinking on lifestyle, and it sets them up to want to work on their habits and to delve into the habits of health and do the things that are necessary in your future optimal health. I've taken all the latest research and having there that we are the connection, and we'll be there for you to help you make the things. So when you read something in the news, bottom line is you'll now have a trusted source, you and Optavia, to help bring them into our organization and our community. So basically, the first breaking free from the world, I talked about that, the weight loss revolution. Are these medicines right? It's so important to find out what's right for them. Because many people just need the 5-in-1, right? 20% of people can lose weight and keep it off using lifestyle change. So obviously, we have all these options, and you're masters at using the 5-in-1. This is simply another avenue, and you don't even have to worry about it because their physician is the counterpart to us. They do the technical part, and now the physician has a role. But the physician's role is still 5 minutes. You're there for a lifetime to help them.
He just said the physicians now have a place in this. What the They've always had a place in your health. Are you kidding? That's really weird. And the doctor's there for 5 minutes, but you're there for a lifetime? How ridiculous. No wonder these people feel like they're better than everybody else, you know? We were talking about narcissists last night because John Melton was saying how he has worked with lots of narcissists, and I'm like, imagine that. It's almost like the profession attracts narcissists because they have this complex where they're like, "I was made for more. I was always going to be, better than everybody, and I was not made to be in the 9 to 5 and blah de blah de blah, They always have this point of view where they think they're above it all. And no wonder they do when Dr. A is saying, "You're more important in someone's weight loss journey than their physician." How ridiculous. That's so absolutely ridiculous. And if I were them, oh, there's Kevin Tinter. I can tell from the shape of his head. Kevin Tinder's transphobic, everybody, just so you know. I like to remind everybody because he's terrible. He's a terrible person. Um, he also is super conspiracy theory pilled, but then was still using Facebook. Like, and he was like, "I don't know about using TikTok. Don't trust it." I'm like, "You're on Facebook. They have everything, Kevin." Um, I don't know if this were me. I don't want that on me. I wouldn't want the responsibility of somebody's health on my shoulders, because what if they don't get healthy? What if they get hurt? And I'm pretty sure that they sign a waiver to say that I'm actually not like a coach. It's just a name. It's just a title, you know?
All the difference in the world. So the GLP-1 drugs should come, like in a car where it has airbags in the front, don't put kids in there, good thinking, and all these other stuff. There should be a tag that comes along with a prescription on the side that says, make sure you get an Optavia coach to help you during this period, and be bold. Prescription for now, you can take them through the whole period while they're on it, and probably don't need it here. And what the studies are showing now, if you start adding all the cool things that we need to, the lifestyle changes, you can come off the drugs quicker. You can basically you can reach also with lifestyle change, with exercise, with the things we teach them, you can actually now reach a healthy weight while you're on the medications, so that they're set up to come off them, and they now have all the habits necessary. And here's the cool thing we're finding out. In the brain, they're suppressing the dopaminergic receptors and actually rewiring the brain. And if you're there at that time, the brain, through a brain-derived neurotrophic factor, our brain is more susceptible and more likely to make habit changes during that period. So imagine if during that whole, you're there by their side, helping them reprogram. So by the time they get ready to come off the drugs, boom, they're good, right? Boom, boom, I like that.
I'll watch them do a whole heap of trainings on boom, boom. He said reprogram. That's concerning language to me. Just saying. That's definitely culty. They're talking about weight loss, but this is not really about weight loss. It's the vehicle for the whole thing. Same with the GLP-1 thing. That's just a tool in their toolbox now.
And here's the other part, and this is really important. Now, there's so many people that are on the drugs and they're scared to death because they're worried about that 70% weight gain, right? Now you can take them by the hand, put your arm around them, start them and say, let me help you manage the rest of your GLP journey, and let me get you ready for habits of health, ultra health, and all these things. As a community and as partners, I'm going to help you be part of. Are you guys still thinking about, well, what are we doing? Are we going to be okay? Are we going to be okay? Yeah. We're going to be boom. All right.
I cock-blocked his boom. Yeah, it is about control. He's been speaking for 20 minutes. Are you still wondering if we're gonna be okay as a company? Yeah, because what are you talking about? This is just a little bit part of it. This doesn't solve all the problems. So I've dropped one of my earbuds, so I'm gonna press play, and then I'm gonna try and find where it is because I can't see it.
All right, and then obviously I went through this. And by the way, just so you see, I had an Italian artist. I asked her to make this book not threatening, easy, like a flower that you want to open and really investigate, right? And she's done a marvelous job. So, in conclusion, almost 25 years of predictable transformation if you use all four components. You can't use three of them, you can't use two of them, you can't use one of them. You have to use all four. That, you as a professional, that's what we need to get better at helping people. And since the people are now motivated because they've lost weight and they're feeling better, they now need to understand there is a program and a necessity to have mirrored lifestyle change that comes with it, right? Oh, I'm going to go back one thing. I was supposed to show you that last. Perfect fit for the either considering or on the GOP. Now you're their advocate to find out it's right for them. Address all the potential areas necessary to create optimal health and well-being. Even offers the individual the opportunity to add a highly fulfilling vocation. What am I saying? Become a coach. But let's use this to fill the funnel, find the people that want to get healthy, and then show them that we're having so much fun. It's not hard anymore. Once you have your funnel filled, it won't be hard anymore. It'll be fun. And you'll find the ones, and now with all the work you've done during this relatively tough time, you can pinpoint the people that are going to be great partners and great coaches. So
You can tell who your victims are. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, that sounds easy. Just fill the funnel up. With what? How? He's gonna walk up to fat people? Is that what you're talking about? I still think it's very hard sell. And I don't think you can sell fun. Is it fun? Because we've seen people taste test those Optavia fuelings. They look terrible. Yeah, exactly. The lifestyle change is recommending people to keep eating Optavia for one or more meals forever. Even when Doug and Tia Wood were working out, like bodybuilding, they was ordering fuelings, and they would say that was a thank you. You need to order as a thank you to your coach. The aircon was cold again. Okay, let's keep going.
now effectively accelerate the business. But we can't have a handful of leaders. We need all of you to stand up and be leaders. And over the next couple of days, you're going to have the opportunity to open up, get your personal mind aside, be fully present, and know, Dan yesterday goes, there's only 4 things to this business. What are they? Acquire clients and integrate them, acquire coaches and train them to become leaders, right? I said that. It's my quote from 22 years ago. The fundamentals that we've built over 22 years are just as important today. Everything you have already sets you up. We are simply making a public-facing twist to help engage with a market that's motivated. We can make all the difference. Bottom line is, we're poised with the offering and experience to be synonymous with the weight loss revolution. Remember, they need to have a little sticker that says Optavia, right? And we are the one company, one mission that will become the health company that changes the world, and that is Optavia. God bless.
I just missed that end bit. What happened?
Is
Hang on.
human tendency.
There by their side, helping them healthy.
What's happening?
Find the people that want to get healthy and then show them that we're having so much fun. It's not hard anymore. Once you have your funnel filled, it won't be hard anymore. It'll be fun. And you'll find the ones, and now with all the work you've done during this relatively tough time, you can pinpoint the people that are going to be great partners and great coaches. So you can now effectively accelerate the business. But we can't have a handful of leaders. We need all of you to stand up and be leaders. And over the next couple of days, you're going to have the opportunity to open up, get your personal mind aside, be fully present, and know, Dan yesterday goes, there's only 4 things to this business. What are they? Acquire clients and integrate them, acquire coaches and train them to become leaders, right? I said that. It's my quote from 22 years ago. The fundamentals that we built over 22 years are just as important today. Everything you have already sets you up. We are simply making a public-facing twist to help engage with a market that's motivated. We can make all the difference. Bottom line is, we're poised with the offering and experience to be synonymous with the weight loss revolution. Remember, we need, and we are the one company, one mission that will become the health company that changes the world, and that is Optavia. God bless.
That was a weird ending. That was a really weird ending. Okay, God bless. No, I gotta go. Come on.
I am so deeply thankful to Optavia for the opportunity to build a business that has given me the financial support and stability I needed during the most challenging time of my life. I'm so thankful to my
Let me know about the sound because she's louder than Dr. A. That was really weird. Like, here's the solution. Optavia, bye. He could have rounded it out with a boom. Because that was kind of like what he was going for, boom. Huh.
self for showing up as a divorced single mom of young children going through a messy divorce. I was able to walk through.
Do we need to know that? I know I'm not really supposed to be watching this. Like, this is for them. But this... because I was looking for, I don't know, like the price or something of it, and it brought me to everything, and this is freely available, but I did not need to know that you're going through a messy divorce. Weird.
The dark moments, show up in the business, show up in the messy times, work my business, and create a future for my family and not give up. Now, I am proud to say, because I showed up during the yuck, this 44-year-old can be the mama she could only dream of. I can support my oldest son financially as he is finishing his first year of college. I can be the fully present mama for my high schooler and 8th grader during their full and busy lives and engage in them in a way that I could only dream of because of Optavia.
Really? Really? Guess what? Other parents who work and don't spend every waking minute with their children are still present parents. And I don't understand why we had to hear about your divorce with young children when your children are now grown. Like, how is that part of the story? In other words, she's been in Optavia for a long time and she's probably near the top. So she probably makes enough money to do what she needs to do. We saw the income disclosure statement before.
Optavia has been a game changer in my life, and I'm so beyond thankful for the opportunities it has brought into my life.
Because of the boldness of Dr. A and my coach for posting, we didn't need weight loss, and we were actually on no one's list ever. The Holy Spirit brought to my memory 2 posts from my coach when we were at a place of financial need.
Are we crying now? So here we go. Religious manipulation. Holy Spirit And so you didn't need to lose weight. This is about money and God.
And because of that, my husband said a bold yes. And this has become the most surprising form of ministry I have ever been a part of. Not only have
Yeah, I'm surprised by that too. It is a surprising form of ministry because it shouldn't be. This is an MLM. This is a predatory business structure. Yeah, definitely. Therapy. So many of these people. That's what they needed. Or a financial advisor.
I been able to impact thousands of people's lives, I've actually gotten to know thousands of people's lives. And that is the best part for me.
How was that about Optavia? That sounded like testifying in a prosperity gospel church. Yeah, making a social post is bold. Wow.
I'm thankful for Optavia and the decision I made to burn the ships. Because if you want to take the island, you have to burn the ships. And what I know is human tendency is if you
What? I've never heard that saying. Does that make sense? You have to burn the ships to take the island? Hmm. I don't understand. Is it about opportunity?
leave yourself an out, when times get hard, you're probably going to take that out, and times will get hard. And you don't want to take that out. So what it takes is a commitment. A commitment is all or nothing,
Stop
right?
it.
100%. You either make a promise to yourself and you keep it, or you're not committed. And I'm grateful to myself for being committed and bold and making that decision, because over the last 9 years, we've been able to create amazing memories with our kids and just create and collect the things that I wouldn't have been able to otherwise.
All right, let's talk about staging here. Why do we have to stand in a line? Why couldn't we just sort of like come out one at a time, have a spotlight? People, like, it's so distracting to have everybody standing there if you want that what they're saying to be focused, because a couple of people are moving on their feet. They're probably a little bit nervous. Like, you get yourself together. Um, but also that guy was like, you're not committed if you don't, stay in or have an easy out or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's it. You don't want to weigh out. You want to cut all the ties with everything outside the company. Of course. Of course. So then all you have is this. And that's what Allison, the unlikely pastor's wife, talks about. When she left Optavia, she was excommunicated from the group, kicked out of the chats, friendships ruined, and then to have Becca Tinter talk about pruning the dead leaves of relationships, referring to her, that's tough. That's tough to hear. And they know because they've seen it happen. If you leave, that's what happens to you. You don't just lose like your job or the money or your health. You lose everything. And it's terrible, you know? Absolutely. Absolutely, William. Oh no. Fuck, what did I do? Hang on. Sorry, everybody. God damn it.
I'm thankful to
Okay, hang
Always
on.
human tendency is if you leave yourself an out, when times get hard, you're probably going to take that out, and times will get hard. And you don't want to take that out. So what it takes is a commitment. A commitment is all or nothing, right? 100%. You either make a promise to yourself and you keep it, or you're not committed. And I'm grateful to myself for being committed and bold and making that decision, because over the last 9 years, um, we've been able to create amazing memories with our kids and just create and collect the things that I wouldn't have been able to otherwise.
Because of Optavia and the boldness of my coach, I finally lost the baby weight. My baby was 5. And I did the work, and I got to be part of healthcare on a different end. I was a nurse, and I got to leave nursing because of Optavia, because I did the work. I met some of my most favorite people in the whole world. I get to be part of this community, and I get to be home. I have 3 teenage boys, and let me tell you, I don't have to celebrate the holidays on a different day. I don't have to miss baseball games. I get to volunteer. I get to be there in the morning, be there in the afternoon. And I don't know if anybody else has teenagers, but sometimes I want to talk at 10 p.m. at night. And I get to stay up late because I don't have to be to the hospital at 6 a.m. So I'm very thankful.
Do you go to the gym? Do you work out? Bet you do have to get up early. Also, that this is manipulative as fuck. I get to do all this. I don't have to celebrate holidays on a different day. I can go to baseball, I can volunteer. Just because other parents don't do that doesn't mean that they're not as good as you. These people are so sanctimonious. They're always like the best parents, the best Christians, the best at working out, the best at dieting, and it's gross. This is quite unstructured. Like, even when Doug and Tia and like the other one that we saw, it was definitely like, okay, this is what's happening now, then we're having this, and there was introductions and so on and so forth. But this is just like a bit thrown together.
Because of Optavia, sorry. I went from morbidly obese to ultra health last year. I've released 150 pounds, and most of it over 10 years ago. So have faith in our program that it lasts if you incorporate all 4 components. I was able to leave my accounting position 7 years ago, and quickly after that become caretaker for my parents in 2 separate nursing homes. We were able to completely get out of debt in 2019 and stay that way, paying off hundreds of thousands of dollars. Thank you, Optavia. We're paying cash for our daughter's wedding this year. We paid cash to build the house for our son. I've been able to organize my life around what matters most. And right now, that's the time I have left with my parents. It's given me years of that. And as I wrote this, I was on a last-minute flight because my daughter needed help. And I would never have been able to take that time off from my job before. So thank you.
I just realized I was muted. Sorry. The staging, annoying. What the fuck would they do? Why are you moving around while this person is speaking? It was very annoying. Now I was sitting in front of here because Minnie's humping Murphy. That's upsetting Wilbur, and I want them to clean up their stage. It's annoying. But also this lady has not like people can get time off if they're having a crisis, you know?
I'm thankful to God for Optavia as I dropped 30 pounds and kept it off this time. And still boldly contend physically for my health because I have a special abled son that I have to care for the rest of his life.
Contend is one of their culty words. Minnie, stop it. Can you can only contend you're on when you're losing weight, and that means your business is successful. Yeah, it was weird. I don't know where they're moving around. Yep, you've got a son with disabilities. That's tough, but people do it without it. Optavia, you know.
I'm grateful that I boldly lean in, dig deep, and replace the labels and lies that held me captive for far too long. Because of Optavia, I'm able to support many ministries locally and globally in other countries. Leave a stressful job in education to be available whenever needed for my family. A lot more flexibility. I also was able to help my daughter, and I paid for a lot more of her wedding than I ever thought possible.
Okay, cool.
I'm thankful to Optavia for teaching me how to pour my love into myself and reminding me how amazing it is to pour my love into others. I'm thankful for not giving up during the hard seasons and for realizing they're not about me, but they're about everybody else who needs me to push through, and that being my best isn't about perfection.
Yeah, the other day I did feel a little bit of empathy for John Melton. Just in the moment, I felt empathy um when he was crying. But this is all this is manipulation. This is manipulation. Yeah, leave a successful job. Did she say successful or I thought she said stressful. In education. Girl, I've been there. I know stressful education job. We'll see how we go at the new school. I think if this school doesn't work out for me, I think it's time to call it a day on being a teacher, honestly. All right, let's hear this more like emotional manipulation.
It's about seeing what's hard and pushing through to the other side, because the stuff on the other side is the beautiful. Because of Optavia, I found strength to entrust my dreams and goals with a team of the most selfless people I've ever met and work on becoming the best version of who I can be.
Thank you for hugging her. She
Because of
needed that.
Optavia, I am embracing the empty nester season. I'm helping other birds fly. I'm living my best life at 66 years old. And we are living debt free. Thank you, Optavia.
Thank you.
I like that one. That one was all right. But also, I could not think of anything worse than being like really old and doing this restrictive AF diet. Like it sounds like a nightmare. Like I want to be like happy in my old age, not like restrictive.
To Optavia for giving me the vehicle to transition from a full-time physical therapist to 23 years, owning a physical therapy practice for 14 years, to transitioning all the way to being a full-time health coach and being more present with my family, my son, my wife. And I have to thank Optavia for giving me space to deal with life over the hardest year that I've ever had to walk through and get to the point where I can concentrate on my future again and my goals.
I want to thank Optavia because it provided an opportunity to walk away from a brick and mortar that was slowly suffocating and killing my husband and I. I want to thank Optavia because my son will never remember what having exhausted, overwhelmed, unavailable, and unhealthy parents looks like. I want to thank Optavia because we were able to create and stitch together the most beautiful extended family that I could have ever dreamed of, healing this girl's heavy heart. I want to thank Optavia for putting all these real, beautiful, tangible role models in spaces together so I have people whom I'd love to emulate and become because they've continued to level up in life. Their faith, bravery, boldness, parenting, stewardship, giving, kindness, vulnerability, and strength. But mostly, I want to thank Optavia because the flexibility of our time and additional income provided us with opportunities to spend more precious moments and create more memories in what no one knew was the final year of our best friend's life.
Thank you, guys. I want to thank Optavia because I went from the father that wasn't present to the father that heard his son say, I hate you. You're the worst father ever. I had the son that got kicked out of Christian school 5 years ago, but it gave me the opportunity to drive him to school and pick him up every single day and listen to him and speak the word into him.
Why does that happen so often? Becca and Kevin Tinter's son was also kicked out of a Christian school. Why? Why does it happen with these people? And that's how you're going to rescue them with the word. Like, do you know what was probably the best part of that? The relationship with the dad. Do you know what I mean? Like talking to him. It wasn't God, it was freaking you. That's what the thing that always gets me about these Christians. Sorry if you can see the dogs humping. Um, these Christians are always like, God did this and God did that. And it's like, that was you. Give yourself some fucking credit. Like, this is you. You did that. You reached out to your son. You had the relationship with your son. You know? Like, that's crazy. Oh God, that sounds terrible, Alisara.
And this kid has got into 12 top tier colleges that he applied to last week, 12 out of 12. And he's doing great things, and he turned the corner. I never thought that that would be something that I would be thanking Optavia for when I started. But that is the biggest joy and the big.
Again, that's you, and that's the son. That's him. Like, it's not fucking Optavia. Optavia didn't help him get into 12 different universities or study or whatever. How ridiculous.
Biggest win that Optavia gave me, for sure. Thank you, Optavia.
Because of Optavia, I've been able to be a present mom, but more importantly, a present boss mom. I've created a life where I can build my business, earn a tremendous living, but still raise my babies. I was able to do that and not have to rely on somebody else. It's the balance I've always dreamed of, and
Guess what? Sometimes it's okay to rely on other people.
now I get to work my business, get them off the school bus, listen to their fears, listen to their happiness, listen to their worries, and not have the guilt of somebody else earning that or being able to be there for those moments while I was out of the home. So
How stressed out are your children? You get to listen to their fears and their worries, and maybe their happiness, and somebody else earned that? That was weird. That was really weird. Yeah. And this should be like they should have pre-recorded them and then put them on as like a video, because this is messy as fuck.
Thank you, Optavia, for giving me that dream that I've always dreamed of.
Because of Optavia, my wife and I both lost 100 and 145 pounds respectively. We got to live a life of traveling the world and raising our children together in a way I couldn't imagine. Sorry. And most recently, I want to thank Optavia for this community because I recently lost my wife, and it's given me a reason to push through my grief and fulfill her legacy of getting the world healthy. Thank you.
That's awful. Oh my god. My heart just dropped then. Yeah, they should have limited it, and they should not be relying on the grief of this man. How that's heartbreaking. Like, why would you be, unless he wanted to do it, but then there would have been like, hey, do you want to share or whatever? Oh, he looks quite young. That's very sad. I'm sorry that that happened. And if he ever gets out of this and talks and thinks about it, like, those memories are going to be intertwined with them, and then all this support that he has right now could be tainted because of, like, if he doesn't stay true to the cult. Ooh, that was a heavy moment. Yeah, alright. Okay, like, I think this is too much. That's too much. No, like, it's too sad.
This is his family right here. This is beautiful. I want to thank Optavia for providing the vehicle for me to be able to lose 100 pounds.
Yeah, see, now, like, it's like, who cares what anyone else has done? He lost his freaking wife. Also, now the person who's speaking is off the screen. Great job.
For me to be able to take that story, make it a story for you and for me. I've been on American Ninja Warrior twice as a platform for health, not because of a show, but it's your story, my story, and we've got more to come so we can tell more people in any platform way we can that they need us. And I'm so grateful that Optavia has given us that opportunity.
Because of Optavia, I was able to lose 40 pounds and 20 years of chronic fatigue. Because of Optavia, I was able to see the light return into his eyes. Because of Optavia, we were able to give our two daughters their dream weddings within 18 months apart and pay cash. And because of Optavia, our younger two are attending Valor Global online.
And
Oh, wow. Imagine that. They're attending Valor Global online. Where's that? What's that? Oh, it's Doug and Tia Woods School. So, good job. Good job. Nice little scam they've got there. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it's like. William? Oh, thank you, Jesus. Yeah. Optavia didn't cure your chronic fatigue. No.
now we get to ask the right boss for time off for our first granddaughter or grandson that's coming next week. Hey, boss, can we take the time off?
Absolutely.
It's freedom. Thank you, Optavia.
Oh, here's these other people. Oh, nope. I got copyrighted for 0.14 of second for the freaking Journey song last night. Like, it wasn't even a second. It was so ridiculous, YouTube. I was very pissed off about that, so I'm not having any music. See, this is what they should have done in the middle.
Can you start it over for me?
You're not a dancer. What are you talking about? What's happening?
Who I'm meant to be, focused on my path. I'm the one.
What is happening? And now there's just random 4 people.
You guys, all right, I'm gonna read it to you because
I can't turn the music down, bitches. Sorry.
every morning I rise, eyes on the prize, purpose in my stride, no disguise, no lies. Destiny's calling, I ain't stalling, I'm all in. Building my legacy, can't you see I'm ballin'? Life tried to break me, shake me, but I'm still here. Vision so clear, I got nothing to fear. Steps ordained, I maintain my lane. Hustle in my veins, purpose in my brain. Walking in my purpose, can't nobody stop me. Every single step, I'm becoming who I'm meant to be. Focused on my path, I'm the one, I'm the key. Living out my dreams, yeah, I'm walking in my destiny. Haters gonna hate, but they just fuel my fire. Climbing higher and higher, I never tire. Challenges come, but I face them with grace. Determined and strong, I'm running this race. Purpose driven, every move is divine. In the darkness I shine, my soul's aligned. Manifesting greatness, I'm on my grind. Unstoppable force, I'm one of a kind. Purpose is my guide, I won't be denied. With every stride.
Isn't it good when you can just read someone else's work? Yeah. Yep. Just reading lyrics for the song that she played twice. It's so good.
I feel alive. Overcoming, thriving, I won't hide. In my purpose, I confide. Whew.
Whew. Whew. Indeed. I like that one. Yeah, a bit of slam poetry for your nerves. Oh, look. It's my Twitch. It's my Twitch bot. I always get one message from the Twitch bot. Thank you. I don't know if anyone ever watches on Twitch. I did get some viewers on TikTok. Yeah, I think it's a song, but I wasn't familiar with it and these guys are so super Christian that sometimes they have their own Christian rap music and stuff like that. So
You guys, it's Walking in My Purpose by Room to Breathe, okay? But here's the thing. How many of you want to feel like that is true and walk in that confidence every day? Right? Isn't that our desire? Okay? I don't always feel that way, but I do intentionally listen to things that help me to move in that direction, right? One of my mentors a long time ago, she used to say, right choices bring right emotions. Okay, the conversation I'm having now with teenagers in my house is, that emotion doesn't get to drive the bus, okay? The feelings don't get to be in charge. We can feel the feelings, but what do we want? Because our goals need to drive the bus. Okay? So I want to encourage you today because
God, I hope she doesn't talk to the children like this, but I imagine she does because it's like these people, they are I know they're kind of like Scientologists where they treat their children like they're like part of the downline and talk them in like this personal development language, you know?
how many of you want more confidence? Raise your hand. All right? So that is
I'm really glad that Kevin Tinter didn't put his hand up. That's him sitting right there in the front left with the white shirt on. He doesn't need more confidence.
something that you can get, you can learn. It's like a trained skill. And we're going to talk more about that throughout the day. But let me ask you, who in here wants to change something about your business? You want something to shift or change? Okay.
Okay,
That's a
Kev
lot of
put
you.
his hand up.
Here's
Kev put his hand way up then. He shot it up. Go Kev. I wonder what he wants to change. Has your check fallen off, Kev? I bet you it has. Especially because you had twice as many people there at the beginning of 2023.
the deal. I would like you to write down what you want to change. What do you want to change in your business? What do you want to see happen? Doesn't have to be long, just write a couple words, sentence or two. What do you want to see happen?
This came with a PDF.
I want you to write down what needs to take place for that to happen. What needs to take place for that to happen?
I hope someone writes down like, ooh, good luck
Everybody
now,
have a little something?
Kita. Have a lovely day.
This is a good exercise to do. You can do it more later, okay? But isn't it interesting? Because I feel like a lot of us showed up here. I mean, we had to find childcare. We had to invest a lot of money to pay for registration, to do hotels, Airbnbs, to fly here, to drive here, all the things, because you knew something big would happen in this room. Okay? And some of us, we can't help but show up and go, I really am hoping that they show me the next shiny tool that is going to be the open door to my dreams, right? I want to know, like, what is working that I'm not doing? I need to know they're going to have it in this room, okay? But what's interesting to me is I want you to look at your paper, and I want you to acknowledge you already know what you need to do. Okay?
Yeah, because you made him write it out. You said, what do you want to change and how is that going to happen? You just told them to answer the question.
You already know what needs to happen in order for you to go to that next level.
Yeah,
What one of our goals
it's really simple in an MLM. You got to recruit people. And the major way that you recruit people in Optavia is, first of all, you get them on the diet and then you convince them to join as a coach. Like, duh. And even if they had other versions of that, like I imagine Kevin said he wants to make more money. How do you make more money? Recruit more people. You know what I mean? Like everything is connected to that one thing. And it's what Dr. A said before, where you get coaches in or you get people in on the diet to improve their health, and then you get them to be coaches to improve their wealth or whatever. I don't know.
Is to help you move the needle in that direction as you're here. Because it's not that you came here because you don't know what to do, but there's, what did that song say? Like, I'm the one, I'm the key. You are the one. You're the key to your success. Some of you might even say, okay, well, I am in action. I'm doing the things, right? Well, we're going to evaluate what energy and place you're doing them from. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever get
So
to
it's
that
all about,
place where you,
it's their fault. Even if you're doing the things that they said, like, yeah, you're doing the things, aren't you? You're doing them. You're doing those things. Um, they're not doing them the right way or with the right intent. You're just not doing it right. So, yeah, great. So everybody else's faults in an MLM.
you feel like you can't, you're sabotaging yourself? Why am I doing, like I'm creating the opposite of what I want to do? You know, if everybody asked me what like a life topic would be for me, anytime I'm asked to speak, if they're like, you can speak on whatever you want, you have 30 seconds or you have 30 minutes, I'm like, I got it. And if they're like, you have 2 words, I'm like, okay. And you know what I would say? That's a good one. That is probably my second one. Okay. But this is the key to doing something with your one life is lead yourself. You can coach all the people you want to, but if you are not coaching the person in the mirror, you are not going to get anywhere. You have got to lead yourself because you're the only one with you in all of those really crucial, pivotal moments.
It's their
It's
fault,
not how you
isn't it?
show up when you get to an event like this, or how you show up on training, or how you show up for even your client support, because we can turn it on. But if you don't believe that you can actually do this, if you are self-sabotaging the most of your day, then you're not going to get where you want to go. Today, as you hear from people that are winning, that are creating dream businesses, that are actually like their health is on point, they're bringing in clients, they're bringing in coaches, they're building teams, they're creating a legacy business, you are going to have to watch yourself. Because it will be very easy to drift below the line into comparison, into envy, into insecurity. Those of you who battle low self-worth, and you're like, oh man, well, if I looked like that, sounded like that, had that, then I could. Okay, but that's not serving you. So my invitation, because I've learned, I used to be a pastor that used to tell people what to do, but now I've learned, Dr. A, that I just get to invite you into a potential better way and you get to decide. Okay, and that's my invitation today.
It's interesting that she used to be a pastor. It's amazing how the 2 parallels, like, are very similar with an MLM, and of course, they are going to compare themselves. I don't to say, "Don't do that," it's not being genuine. Like, tell them what to do if they do get into that. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't say, "Don't do that. Don't compare yourself." It's like, okay, if you find yourself comparing yourself, this is what you should do. And there is a reason that they compare themselves to each other because they are all in direct competition with each other. You recruit your own competition in MLMs, and it's sorry, like these things will happen naturally because it's human nature, but it's like you're constantly needing to be editing yourself. And also, again, the emphasis is on it's your fault. You didn't want this enough. You self-sabotage. Like this is providing cover in the future when people fail. How do we know people fail? Because we looked at the income disclosure statement before.
Lead yourself, even while you're here, especially while you're here, so you don't miss out on what it is that is meant for you, okay? Because the inner battle within us it's a real thing, right? How many
Yeah.
of you just have to admit it, you have a favorite client? You know you do, okay. I have a favorite client right now. Her name is Karina. She actually, she's a restart and a roll-up, and so I didn't know her. And so she is the kind of client, though, that this time she came in ready. She was like, I wasn't ready last time. I wasn't willing to pick up the books. I wasn't really willing to do the things, but I'm ready now. So, I have to confess, I give her a little bit more time than, I do some of my other clients. But you know why? Because she shows up with questions. We're walking through an element every week. Sometimes we have to stop and work on stuff and pause there before we can move forward. The conversations take a little bit longer because she's actually taking notes while we're talking, and she asks for clarity around some things. And one of the
What are your qualifications to guide her in this? She's talking very generally, but it's like, are you talking about weight loss? You're talking about life? It's very vague, you know? And sounds time consuming. So, I do really like what Megan is wearing, though. I like the pink boiler suit.
things we talked about last week, she said, like, how much self-dialogue is normal? And I said, well, I find that in seasons specifically, when you're looking to become a better version of yourself and you're starting to have more awareness around your current habits, self-dialogue is happening all the time. I mean, Dan laughs at me, but sometimes I walk in the room, I don't know he's there, but I'm talking to myself. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I didn't see you. But I'm like, but all the time. And you know what? But that is my saving.
Same. She described me. That's me. Because, well, my dad has lived with me, but I do spend a lot of time by myself. So it's technically what I'm doing now. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you so that I'm not completely insane. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay? Gotta take those antidepressants and she'll stay good.
Grace a little bit. Because if I only listened to all the things that I heard when I opened my phone, I don't know about you, but I'm connected to a lot of people. I don't know what I'm going to take on the minute that I open my text messages for the day. Do you know the amount of hurt and fear and like heartache that so many people go through? Like that can be cast my direction, which what an honor to be able to hold space for those people. But
Yeah, but you're what is your position to hold that space? I've heard a lot of, I think it was Melissa Collins. Melissa Collins. Oh, she's the gift that keeps on giving. But, talk about like, I'm not your therapist. Or maybe Kelsey Ray said that. Or maybe even Jessie Lee back in the day. But I'm not your therapist, like that's what I've heard network marketers say stuff like that. However, I've also seen uplines who take it on and they use it to create relationships which are transactional, which is a shame.
I have to be able to also protect my heart, protect my mind. There's also opportunities where some of us call it learning, some of us call it failure, kind of depends on how you view it. But opportunities all the time to grow and to level up, but it's all about that self-dialogue. How are you coaching yourself? How do you talk to yourself? Do you talk to yourself in a way that you would talk to other people? I want you to begin to think about that. We have to stay committed to leading ourselves. And the Apostle Paul in Romans 7, he cried out, "Why do I do the things I do not want to do? And I cannot do the things I want to do." And that is a real battle that we have, which is why you have things on your paper that you know would move the needle in your business, but you aren't doing them. And as
Maybe they are doing them and it's not working because MLM's played out. Also, I agree. The pink is nice, and I think she obviously feels confident in it. There's maybe, and she is a good speaker. I think that the other one might be it might be a 2-day thing. She's got this another gorgeous pink piece on. What she's saying is not bad here. This is good advice, and I think it's not harmful. Purpose is she's doing it to get people to, keep in the business. This is about reindoctrination. Anybody who's in an MLM, like the uplines, if they've got a shaky downline, they're gonna say, just come to conference, come to an event, go to a live event, and they get, you know, poured into. They get reawakened at these things where they are love bombed, they get the energy they need to keep going, and that's what this is. The advice isn't terrible, but what they want people to do afterwards and the reason for giving the advice is terrible. Yeah. Like if this was just a religion, like if it wouldn't even be that bad. As long as they weren't trying to influence the government, which I know some of them are mega pilled. So, but there's an MLM, there's a business opportunity, there's a school, there's a fucking, and then there's the, absolute terrible diet culture involved.
I was preparing this message, I couldn't help but think about an example in my life where I created the opposite of what I was setting out to do. So I'm going to be vulnerable with you today. But I have teenagers. 3. Okay, actually I don't. One just became 20, so she's not even a teenager anymore. Oh, that's scary. Okay, but here's the
She
deal.
looks
When she
good.
was junior, senior in high school and figuring out who she was and doing high school things, I found myself with some unmet expectations because I had an idea of what this high school season was going to look like. And actually, I'm a visionary, so I can have a very clear vision, which also can set me back when it doesn't happen the way that I thought it would. And I was a youth pastor, and so I walked with teenagers again and again and again. So I was like, yeah, this is what it's going to look like. We're going to be the house where everybody's going to come, and my daughter's going to love hanging out with me, and she's going to talk to me about all the things, and we're going to just keep all those bad boyfriends away, and like she's it's all a lot of kind of unrealistic expectations. So they weren't being met. You talk about the teenagers that you raised through COVID who lost everything, because not only were those things not met, but there was no prom, there was no graduation, there was no, all of the things that she had a right to that we thought we could plan for, right? Kids going in and out of school, and once they were out, it was really hard to get them back in, and
Yeah, imagine missing prom during COVID. There were some people who died. Sorry about prom. the fucking privilege. Like, these people, it's 2025, okay? It's time to move on from being angry about COVID, all right? And yeah, there were some people who missed out. Do you know who else missed out? Gus, right? And guess what? Gus is fine. Also, teenagers, I was secretive as hell with my parents. I didn't tell them anything. It's what you do. Like, it's not. I don't know. Like, some people do have different relationships. I'm more on, like, I look at the kids and I'm like, if you've got super Christian parents and you don't want to be super Christian, then that's going to cause some problems, you know?
Or learn all the things. Okay, you've been there. So I noticed like I'm starting to battle a lot of anxiety, right? I battle it when I'm like, I think her Life 360 has been frozen and I can't find her. And where is she? And she's late. And who is she with? And when I feel like I'm trying to draw close to her and she's pulling away. And I'm trying to, and why is, and you know, luckily we've actually raised pretty intuitive children, thank God. But they just look at us and say things sometimes. I'm like, ugh, you're too smart. But she looked at me and she was like, Mom, your energy is too much for me. And I was like, what are you talking about? I love you, but she was like, no, you are scared and you're worried and I can feel it and it's stressing me out and I already have enough things on my plate stressing me out. Like, if you're gonna be like that, then I don't wanna be around it. Here I was, like, so badly wanting connection. Here I was so badly wanting, like, these memories in this relationship, and yet because I couldn't figure out the way that I was showing up and the energy in which what I was doing, I was actually feeding my fear, and I was focusing on my fear and all the things that could go wrong. And so instead I began to create the reality that supported my fears to come true.
This is a good story. I shouldn't know it though. I'm a stranger. But this is freely available on the internet. And, all these people know each other. So they know the daughter. But that sounds like the daughter was very emotionally intelligent to be able to share that. Like, they have obviously done a good job bringing them up if she's able to talk like that to the mum.
As I'm saying this example, be thinking about your business.
Yeah, see, that's the
Because whatever
problem.
you're fearing, if that's what you're focusing on, then that's what you're creating. You can be having conversations all day with people, but if you are doing it in the energy that, why would they work with you when they can choose that person? You're not at your goal weight yet.
Mm.
You had a setback last year, you this, you that. If that's the energy that which you're in, I really can't explain it other than people somehow know and they're not attracted to that.
Hmm. I don't know, William. Am I being sucked in? Do I believe it a little bit too hard? Maybe. I believed it, but now I'm starting to think it is a very good story to fit in with what she's saying, I suppose. I just wanna see if I can get to the end
You
of
can
her
try to
talk.
like copy and paste other people's posts and put them up and put up a facade, but I don't know. I can't tell you why or how, but they know and they're not drawn to it. Okay? So you have to decide if you're going to feed that fear or feed that faith. And I had to learn to lead myself through the emotions that I was having, right? I was feeling a little rejected. And to be honest, rejection is somewhat of a core wound for me.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot my bunny ears. It's Easter weekend after all. Or Easter week. I forgot. I've got bunny ears to wear. Pink, because she's in pink. Yeah, it seems like a very convenient story now.
Have I worked through that time and time again? Yes, I have. I'm going to flash this up here and I'm not going to show it for long. I found this. This is me when I was in middle school band. I always loved to match, and I always loved high tops. My brother and sister-in-law were laughing at me when we were talking about this. They're like, what? I don't even understand what those shoes are. And I'm like, well, I'm sure they came from Payless. She goes, they have no soles. I don't know. I didn't need support back then like I do now. But my socks matched. I had a great sweater and sweatpants together. What I do remember about this is that honestly, I was really a happy, content, grateful, healthy child. And I didn't know there was anything not enough about me until I got to school. My parents did a pretty good job. But then I had to deal with the real world, right? And that oh no, you're not pretty enough to be here or popular enough to be this. I walked in for a band, I don't even think they were tryouts, because how can you try out, really? You don't know anything. They just put you somewhere. And I wanted to be a flute player. Do you want flute fingers? What are flute fingers?
I also wanted to play the flute, and I couldn't convince my parents to buy me a flute. They had because I've always gone to public school, and but they had a hiring system. My parents didn't want me to do it. I think did she play the saxophone? I don't know. I understand what flute fingers are. It's like if you can't play the guitar. Like I have the tiniest hands. I'm not good at playing guitar. No, Tish, why did you do that? Oh.
I can
Nice.
acknowledge them and say, oh, I see that. And actually, you get
Where was I up to?
you get practice on leading yourself through these things. The more you're able to, he is going to
No.
be fine. It's all okay. It's fine.
Too far now.
I carried that guilt for truth and love. You get practice on, I can acknowledge them and say, oh, I see that. And actually, a really healthy person can do that. You can pause to do that. I'm not going to ask you, what do you do when your emotions are derailing you? Because avoiding, numbing, hiding, pretending that were those things not met, but there was no prom. There was no graduation.
Okay.
There was no, all of the things that she had a right at.
Oh, here we go. Sorry. Damn.
And that oh no, you're not pretty enough to be here or popular
She's
enough to
so
be
pretty
this.
though. Like
I walked in for a band, I don't even think they were tryouts, because how can you try out, really? You don't know anything. They just put you somewhere. And I wanted to be a flute player. Do you want to know what I was told? You don't have flute fingers. What are flute fingers? I look at these fingers and I think they're great. Okay? But you
it's
know
her
who got
first
to
body
play the flute?
dysmorphia.
The popular girls. And you know who got to make the cheer team? The popular girls. And I don't know, somewhere in this system that we have created, there is these little things that begin to tell you you're not enough. When you have your first real love and you're in a relationship and they say I love you and you say you love them, and it's you think it's you probably in your heart of hearts think this is the one. I don't even need to find others. This is my first and my only. Until they cheat on you with the popular girl who happened to be the flute girl from 5 years before, right?
Interesting. Interesting. That's an interesting thing to talk about. You are at a business conference. Did you know? Did you know you're at a business conference? I think I'm gonna leave it there because I've done 2 hours. We've been going. We've been good. Yeah. I wouldn't be talking too much about it at a business conference. I wonder though, because her husband she's always been she was never the one who needed to lose weight. Her husband was the one who got them into Optavia. He was a big fellow. And he's still quite he's like big guy, tall, you know. But she's always looked pretty good, and I wonder, like, I can't recall seeing pictures of their children, but her daughter is probably gorgeous just based on, like, genetics, because they are. Hello, Coop. Um, yeah, it's just that I bet her daughter was in cheerleading. I bet. Anyway, we're gonna leave it there. It's interesting that she is using all these I mean, to say that she was a youth pastor, absolutely, you can see um, that ministry coming out in them and in the people who were saying, "Oh, Optavia is great because of this," and it's like, uh, okay, it's a business, it's an MLM. Are you sure now? Yeah. Thank you. Look, I've got one of my students is on here. I actually not one of my students. I don't work at that school anymore. I work at a new school. Woo! All right, I'm gonna go. We are going to I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how much crap I get done during the day. I've got well, I want to finish my Lego. I just need to put the flowers on. Okay, we got the Lego happening. Although I bet if I move with this, it is just going to break off. So I think I might have to undo it. Yeah, well, the thing is with the kids of the Optavia reps, I just really fear that they give them their own body issues, and a lot of them well, actually oh, that's on the wrong side. I've got one flower that's on the wrong side. Oh, maybe 2. Oh, maybe I need to slip oh, I think I've got one bit I did it sort of wrong. I did it sort of wrong. Yeah, who's the student? I wonder. Um, okay. So, I'll see how much I get done. I might jump on, but I don't know if I should keep on with Optavia. I'm getting a bit bored with it. I might have a little preview and and see if I can make it faster, and I'll make sure that it's a bit louder because Dr. A was so quiet. All right. I'm gonna go. Thanks for the stream. If you are here, give us a like, give us a comment, and we'll see you next time. All right.